Let me know where you're chiming in from today on our live show here today, Backstage with Pete Vargas III. You might also hear me say Backstage with PV3. Hey, we've got a very, very special announcement today that I'm so excited. We're coming to your backyards all across the United States of America. And I'm really, really excited today because today you get to learn about something that's really near and dear to my heart. I actually just shot a video to my friend Brendan Burchard, thanking him as I was in preparation of getting ready for today, because the genesis story of me getting my message out to the world and seeing my business grow actually started at one of his events. And I want to share that story today because it's a story that I hope to recreate for a lot of you out there that are listening today. I welcome the Twitter space. Welcome it. We're on Grant's Twitter space. We're on Instagram. We're on Zoom. We're all over live. But if you're watching this show today, I'm really, really excited about this show because I have a few special guests today that are also going to share about the power of the process of really designing your message and getting so focused on it and being you. Like one of the most important things that you can do in your business, actually, the most important thing that you can do in your business is learn how to communicate it in a powerful, powerful way. I don't need a funnel. I don't need ads. I don't need a website. I don't need a webinar. I don't need anything. Now, those things you begin to add on as your business grows. But the thing I need more than anything is to be able to communicate powerfully. Because when I can communicate powerfully, I can be on a phone call like I was a few minutes ago and see, $40,000, $50,000. Literally one phone call a couple of hours ago, $50,000 new customer, because I was able to communicate powerfully on that phone call. Here in a couple of weeks, I've got a little bit of a dinner that I'm doing here in my backyard where there'll be, 25 people, and I will communicate there. I'm online with you today and I'm communicating with you. I would write this down. The greatest marketing tool that you have for your business is to become an incredible communicator. And for all of you that think you're a 10 out of a 10, you never get to a 10. You always continue to get better. You always continue to up level and find yourself getting better and better and better and better, because the better you get, the more customers you bring in. Now, all of those other things matter. All of those other things matter and can be useful. But the thing that's the most impactful, the lead domino, is communication. So I want to tell you a quick story. And some of you cannot see this because you're listening to it today, but I have this thing that I keep in my right desk right here. And it's the very first event I went to. It's called World's Greatest Speaker Training. And I didn't go in as a VIP. I had a free ticket. So this is my badge just had my name on it and the logo of the event. And I got to the front desk and they said, "Hey, do you want to upgrade and be a part of the SpeakOff? It's $1,000. They didn't say SpeakOff, they said the speaker training. I said, "What is that?" They said, "You get to share your story." I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 minutes, but you get to share your story in two minutes. I think it was 2 minutes. And then we have 3 or 4 judges that give you feedback. I said, "Cool. Like, do I win a stage or anything? Like there's a winner?" No, there's no winner. We just call you randomly over the course of the 3 days. You come up on stage, you share your message, and they give you some feedback and you get the video recording of it. Well, what I want you guys to know is I did not want to make that investment of that $1,000. I was afraid. I had scarcity mindset. I wasn't making money at the time. So I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, there's no way I'm giving you $1,000. And I walked. And I don't know all of you out there. I don't know where you're at in like your faith journey or your faith relationship, but I believe that I hear from the voice of God inside of me. Like, I just believe that with my whole heart. And as I walked off, I felt like I really sensed that I heard a voice that you're supposed to do that. So I went back and took my regular badge and it became a VIP badge. And that weekend, I still have the video, man. I'm chubby, I'm sweaty, I have the worst outfit on that you can imagine. Maybe we'll get some clips of that in the show notes here for you guys to be able to see. Actually, team, I want to make sure that we link back to my talk on that stage because I want you to see what imperfection looks like. I didn't say perfection, I said imperfection. But what did I do? I took action. I took action. And I put myself in the arena. And I got on stage and I fumbled over my words and I sweat and I said a lot of ums and I didn't just, it wasn't perfect, but it was real, it was authentic. And here's the most important, and you're going to see this from the three people today. It was me. I wasn't trying to be Grant or Elena or Brendan or Pat Quinn. I was just being me. But I had a framework that helped me be able to do this. I had a framework that helped me be able to do this. And I got a standing ovation. I got a standing ovation that day. And I could see that it moved Brendan Burchard in a deep way because he's like, that was good. And here's what it did for me. It validated that I needed to stop sitting on the sidelines because I had been sitting on the sidelines for 3 or 4 years with my business idea. I was what I now call a wantrepreneur. There are too many of you wantrepreneurs that all you do is listen to trainings and maybe buy something, but you never do anything with it. And then you point the blame on everybody else. That was me. I was a wantrepreneur. I had my business ideas for 2, 3, 4 years, and I did nothing with it. But now all of a sudden, the crowd heard me talk. They stood up on their feet, and here's what happened. Brendan challenged me to do my own first live event. And I did my first live event. You want to take a guess at how many people were at my very first live event? I had no email, no social media, no database, no anything. Take a guess. I want to see if you guys can guess how many people were at my very first live event. Not 5, but somebody was close with 20. It was 27 people. And I would say there were 5 to 10 people in the audience that had heard me on Brendan's stage 3 months earlier. 5 to 10 that were there that had heard me on Brendan's stage earlier. He had heard me on Brendan's stage. So I got 5 to 10 new customers to say yes because of hearing me in 2 minutes. You think you can get dozens or hundreds of customers in 2 or 3 minutes? You think it takes 60 minutes? It doesn't. Now, if I got 60 minutes, and I know our champion of the first ever SpeakOff would love 60 minutes or 45 or 30 or 15, but you don't need it. You got to get good at 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. You got to get good at all of it. And now all of a sudden, I launch my first event. And there's 27 people there. 27. I think 5 of them signed up for what I coined and trademarked the SpeakOff. A lot of you think last year was the very first SpeakOff we ever had. November of 2015 was the first SpeakOff we ever had. And 5 people, maybe 7, but I think it was 5 entered. And my promise to those 5, and here's my promise to you on a bigger scale. My promise to those 5 was I'm going to have other meeting planners that control stages that are going to be the judges. Brendan kind of scratched the surface with doing it more like speaker training. I wanted to do it more like a competition where there was a winner, but if somebody delivered a good message, that they would win stages as a result of being one of those folks. And so I brought in 3 or 4 judges to judge the 5. All 27 people saw these 5, and one of those 5 won. Those odds are a lot better than our odds last year. Like 5 people entered, 1 won. You got a 20% chance to win that. And this is what I'm going to tell you about that one. That one not only won stages from those judges, that won lots of customers and exposure and notoriety and credibility, because he could say he was the first ever SpeakOff winner. So that brings us to today. I'm going to invite every single listener, and I'm about to give you the greatest free gift that I could ever give you. What costs me $1,000, I'm going to give to every one of you for free today. Every one of you for free today. What costs me $1,000, I'm going to give you for free today. Because you see, I did that SpeakOff in 2015, and I did it in 2016, and I did it in 2017, and 2018, and 2019, and 2020, and 2021. And then in 2022, I didn't do it. Grant Cardone and I partnered. And one Wednesday on our founders meeting, I pitched Grant and Elena on this concept of a bigger SpeakOff. I pitched them on this concept of a bigger SpeakOff, and they got so excited. They're saying, let's do it. Let's do this. And they got excited. And all of a sudden, they were on. They were like, we're going to take this out. We're going to put it on GCTV. We're going to try to sell it to TV. This is going to be one of the highlights. And the winner, the top 3, will get the chance to be on the Growthcon stage in front of 20,000 people in person and virtually. Who has spoken on a 20,000 person stage here? If you're listening, I'm curious if you're listening. Like 20,000 people, that's a freaking NBA basketball game. And what happened is they bought into it. They got excited about it. And guess what? We figured out a lot of the kinks in season 1. We figured out a lot of the kinks in season 1. We had 27,000 people sign up to audition. Unfortunately, we only had the space to audition 2,000 of them. So we auditioned 2,000 of them in 3 cities, and we did it virtually one time. So we did 3 cities and a virtual one. And we auditioned 2,000 of them. 150 of them got a golden ticket. I want you to write down right now as you're listening to me, I'm going to get a golden ticket this year. I'm going to get a golden ticket this year. 150 of them got a golden ticket, and those 150 came back to Miami in December of last year. Guess how many of the 150 golden ticket winners actually came to Miami? You want to take a guess? I've never seen anything like this. I could get 150 people to buy our $5,000 workshop, and only 120 of them would show up. Did y'all hear that? 150 buy a 5K deal, and only 120 of them would show up. But 150 out of 150 showed up. Grant Cardone could not believe it. But then he said, actually, it makes sense, because people want to be known. Because when you get known, things start to flow your way. Customers, your prices go up, the stages you're on, like things just begin to happen. And out of those 150 in Miami, they came for 2 days. Day 1, we cut it down from 150 to 30. And on day 2, all 30 of them came in front of me, Elena, Grant, and Stormy. And we cut those 30 down to 12. And those 12 then got to perform in front of a live studio audience. And those 12 got cut down to 3. And those 3 got advanced to Growthcon. But just like Grant does in Grant fashion, he threw out a wild card to make it 4. He made it 4. And as he made it 4, those 4 competed on probably the biggest stage of their lives. And today, I have those 3 here with us just to talk about their experience in a few brief minutes. You guys want to hear from y'all want to hear from the winner? Here's the crazy thing. There's stories about all 3 that I love that are going to be huge teachable moments of our show today. Huge teachable moments from our show today. But the big call to action that I am so excited about is we have just determined our cities. We're going to go to more. We have people signing up left and right. We're going to Miami. We're going to Las Vegas. We're going to Chicago. We're probably going to add another city or two, but those are the first 3 cities, and we're going to do one virtually. So I'm going to encourage every single one. One of the most powerful processes of this whole journey and this whole thing is understanding how to craft your message in a powerful way. And so I want to encourage every single one of you, and I can see when you sign up on the page, to go to speakoff.com to get registered for season 2 of the Great American Speak Off. Right now we have a city, Miami in August, Las Vegas in September, Chicago in October, and I can tell you we will most likely be bringing a November and a December city as well. What city you want us in? What city that's not on there do you want us in? Sorry, we're not coming to Hereford, Texas. Sorry, that one's not going to make the cut. So we're going to have at least 5 cities and at least 1 virtual opportunity for you to join. But I'm telling you, what you will get out of this day is not just a competition, but training that you would have to pay $1,000 for to get this type of training. And it is my gift to you for free. My gift to you for free. So I want to encourage everybody. And once you've got signed up at speakoff.com, just in the chat, drop the word speak off. Just drop the word speak off down below. Get to Miami, get to Vegas, get to Chicago. We had so many people who auditioned, not multiple times last year, multiple times in Atlanta, in Dallas, in Phoenix. And we're doing different cities this year. I hope that you'll get signed up for the Speak Off. Is going to be out of this world. And I'm excited to bring to you for the next 15 minutes or so 3 of our guests. And so I'm going to start today with a guest that, man, he was a crowd favorite, man. He was a crowd favorite. He wasn't quite a wild card, but he has a wild card story in his own heart. And some of you got the chance to see him last year, and some of you are going to be meeting him for the first time. Would y'all welcome to the stage today our cowboy who finished 2nd place, Randy Hedge. Give it up for Randy. What's up, man?
Living the dream, brother. How you doing?
Good, bro. Good, man. You got the hat on. You got the back. Man, you're looking good there, man.
Oh, just living the dream, sitting out here in the backyard by the pool. This is what you call Redneck Paradise, Pete.
That's funny, man. I might have to call you. I'm going to going out to a lake with a bunch of friends, and their big murder mystery is called Redneck Murder Mystery. So I have to dress up like a redneck. So I might be coming to you for some advice.
Well, that's something I've done very well my whole life, so I'm sure I can help you. Hey guys, welcome to today's broadcast. It's sure an honor to be on here. I got to tell you, you need to be listening to what Mr. Vargas is sharing, because he is giving you some absolute gold. Thanks for having me, Pete.
Randy, I remember meeting you, and I can't remember. I feel like was it Dallas or Atlanta?
Dallas.
I remember meeting you, and you got up there, and I remember meeting you. I think you were standing over by the piano in that suite that night. And I remember thinking there's something unique about this guy. But talk about the process of what the Speak Off did for you. Win, lose, or draw. I want people to understand the power of the process of what it does for them.
Well, in your opening remarks, I think you gave the most sound advice anyone could get. And that is, if you can become a great communicator, you can change your life and you can change other lives. Now, to do that, I think you've got to be authentic. I think you have to be your true self. Don't ever change for anyone. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. You're probably going to have to change some habits. You're going to have to change some skills. You might have to change some attitudes. But I'm talking about changing who and what you are. You know, early on, Pete, them people told me, hey, man, you want to be successful, you got to lose that cowboy hat. I'm so thankful I didn't listen to them. Now I've improved. I buy a little better hat. I wear it a little better. I've cleaned up. I've learned a few bigger words. I have improved on who I am, but I have honed the skill of trying to be a good communicator. So when I saw you and Grant advertising on TikTok that, hey, man, we got a contest, I thought, you know what? I ain't got a snowball's chance, but I'm going to try. Went down to Dallas, and there's all these pretty people. I'm telling you, they got on suits and ties and cufflinks, that hair slicked back. And I'm standing out like a pig at a pool party. It ain't a pretty deal. But I told myself I'm going to give it my best shot. And somehow I stumbled through Dallas. Somehow I stumbled through Miami. And I had the opportunity to be on Grant's stage with 3 magnificent people. I got to tell you, the other speakers you're going to hear from, that's when you start taking notes. The only thing you need to know what I say is just do the opposite and you'll be successful.
Oh man, I don't know about that. The other thing I want to ask you about is, what was one of the profound things, and Elena they just showed a video clip on 10X Studios today online that I'm trying to post on my IG. And guys, if you're not following me on IG, Pete Vargas III, because you're going to hear everything about the SpeakOff. Like, I'm all in on this, man. You guys want to let the world know about this. It's so profound and so powerful. But one of the things Elena talked about was a story about Randy, because in Miami, he got the golden ticket, but he didn't advance from the 150 to the 30. He did not advance from 150 to 30. He missed that cut. So on the second day of Miami, before Growthcon, this is to see who's going to Growthcon, we announced the 30 and he wasn't one of them. And I had told my team, I said, make sure that the people who we cut, make sure you look around, and if there is anybody that calls to you that you need to pay attention to, let me know if you think they need to have advanced. And I took my advice serious. I went around, I looked, and I'm like, that guy's got to be in. Like, that guy's got to be in. I know he's not the traditional, but quite frankly, I wasn't looking for the traditional. I was looking for a bunch of originals. I wanted originals. Like, when you think about the 4 who made it, all completely different, but all are authentic. All different, all themselves, but all authentic. So I went and pulled Randy aside so he gets to compete in the final 30. It's actually 31 now. I think it was 32 because we found 2 people that we thought we missed. 2. So it's 32. And I'm telling you, out of that round of 30, freaking rocked Grant's world. He rocked Grant's world. He advances to the top 12. And out of the top 12, he's one of the final 3. And quite frankly, one of the picks of the judges that did the best in Miami, one of the best in Miami. And so, Randy, to me, a lesson learned is people stop showing up. They start making excuses. You could have left. A lot of those 120 left. We asked them not to leave. We were like, stay here because we're going to give you additional training and you're going to be in the studio audience to hear it. And a lot left, like 20, 30% left. And these are people who are constantly making excuses. Oh, I should have been the one. This is me. Not that you can't feel disappointed, because I want, people should feel disappointed. Not everybody wins trophies in the SpeakOff, but everybody wins by being a part of the SpeakOff. And so, Randy, you didn't give up. Huge lesson. Like, speak to that, because that's what that video of Elena's talked about today online.
Absolutely. So kind of understand the situation, guys. There's, I don't know, 5 or 6 groups, and they're picking 2 or 3 out of every group to get it to that 30. And so when my group was called, I'm sitting there, man, I'm puffed up like I'm a stink bug at a picnic. I'm excited. I know I had made the top 5 out of this group, and my name didn't get called. You talk about sold up, hurt feelings, feeling bad. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. Now, look, it's hard for me to say my name in a minute or 2. So to really communicate effectively in that short of time, I realized I didn't do my best, but surely I was good enough to make the cut. And so I'm sitting there licking my wounds, and the love of my life, my foundation, my rock, my wife, Miss Marcy, she's with me, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No." She said, "You want to go?" I said, "I sure do, but we ain't gonna. We're gonna do the right thing. We're gonna sit here and support those that did." Next thing you know, 30 minutes later, Pete's there and, "Hey, come on, Redneck, we're gonna give you another chance." And guys, It's almost like you flipped a switch. I thought, okay, that little preliminary round, I wasn't truly being myself. I'm going to show them who this cowboy is. And it went well for me as I worked through the next few stages. So the lesson, quite simply, as Pete's already stated, guys, don't quit. Don't give up. Yeah, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be hurt. Every now and then, you're going to get a cup of sour milk, but that don't mean you quit squeezing on them others. That don't mean you quit milking that cow. You've got to keep pursuing your dream. I can tell you, I have failed my way to the top. Everything I've tried to do, I have come in short. I have come in second. I've come in last, but I wouldn't quit. So, lesson 1, get outside your comfort zone, do something you ain't normally going to do. Lesson 2, don't be a quitter. Those come dime a dozen. It's the one that keeps plugging away. Be that grinder. Be that one that just won't give up. There are people prettier than me. There are people smarter than me. There are those that talk better than me, but they ain't nobody got more get, go, and determination. I ain't going to quit. And because of that, I did come in second to an amazing gentleman you're going to get to hear from, and he deserved first. Mr. Lundy is, I don't even have the rights to carry his shoes around. This guy, he's a superstar. But it was probably one of my greater experiences. It made me a winner. People were so gracious and so kind, and I can't begin to tell you how it has positively impacted my brand, my business, what I'm doing. It was a blessing. So even when you lose, you can win.
Randy, I love it, man. I'm so glad to bring you on today. Final thoughts on people getting out for the SpeakOff, man. They need to get out to a city or virtually. And what's your final thoughts of encouragement on that?
It's a must. Look, it's going to take an investment of time. It's going to take a little investment of money. It's certainly going to take an investment of effort. But the biggest investment, the biggest payment you got to make is getting past that fear. But you know what? Every time you grow a little bit, you can't go back. So by pushing outside of that comfort zone, by doing something that you're not really comfortable with, it'll make you such a better person. The SpeakOff, I would list in probably one of the top 10 events of my life. And I've had some great ones. I'm married to one of the greatest women in the world. I drink her dirty bathwater every day just to get to be with her. That's probably one of my top. I got some beautiful kids and grandkids. So I'm telling you, the SpeakOff is right up there with my friends, my family, my faith. It has truly made a difference for me financially, emotionally, relationship-wise. Win or lose, that experience will make you a better version of yourself. And that's truly what life is about, becoming a better you.
Randy, thanks for being with us today, man. Love you, brother. I can't wait to see you soon. I hope to see you sooner than later. Guys, give it up for the cowboy. Look at all of the, hey, what's your big takeaway from him? Like, I hear some of you saying, I need to hear him today. Like, he encouraged me today. I'm inspired today. Like, what's something specifically that Randy's taught you today, or has been a lesson today that is really going to resonate and stick with you, that you're going to walk in? And so, hey, I've got 2 more here and we've got about 10 minutes. So I want to get to the next person. Now, the next person, she really launched a business and has had multiple things happen in her business as a result. But she also, just like Randy didn't make the top 30, she made the top 30. Made the top 12, but wasn't one of the 3 finalists. That's until Grant threw a curveball and gave a wild card to go to Growthcon. And so she was that wild card that took us up from 3 to 4. Would y'all welcome to the stage Samitra Gonzalez? Samitra Gonzalez, will y'all give it up for what's up, girl?
What's up, girl? Hey, Pete, what's going on? I'm so excited to see you.
Where you at
Where
today?
you at today? I'm in New York. I just got here.
I see a lot of people dropping NYC in the chat saying, come to NYC, come to NYC. And NYC's on the short list, guys. We got our next 3. We got one. I'm just telling you, get to August. You can't get to August. So let's start there. Why do they need to get there? Like, why? Like, you did everything. You bent over backwards. You did it all. You figured out how to do this. Like,
yes.
that
guys,
step.
most of the people that came there, it was so intimidating. I was the one who didn't have a back-end system. I didn't have a business. I had a great story of being an overcomer, and I had a why, and I had passion, and I was authentic. Even when I talk right now, I always say your intention will get people's attention. So all I went there with was what I had, and I had the intention to use my story to inspire and motivate others. What I learned from 10X Stages was how to take my intention and turn it into a business. Pete, you saw I put that nice document together, man. 30 stages. We learned so much from the back end of it. I actually took a loan to pay for 10X Stages. And because I got that extra dose, I think that's what got me over the finish line. So I'm not trying to push it on you, but what I will say is when you show up and you show up with the right intention, you educate yourself and then you apply it. I remember we were in the jet. They took us on Grant Cardone's private, vehicle. And I was like, Pete, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. He was like, Samitra, I just taught you how to fish. Go fish. And what he means by that is he taught me how to use my gift. And I always said at the beginning of my speech, your gift will make room for you. Y'all could just look on my Instagram and see the growth from before I started till now. I've booked over 30 stages. I've done like 18 plus podcasts. If you type my name in YouTube, those are all OPS. I'm not gonna give too much away, but it's called Other People's Stages. I learned that from Pete. I learned how to never give up. It's not how you start, but it's how you finish. I learned that from Grant. And I also learned how to take my mistakes because I made some mistakes on Growthcon stage. I ate it and I got better and I got more stages because nobody lost. Nobody lost, Pete.
Yeah, none of those four lost. And guys, since being on Growthcon stage, she's booked 30 stages and she's been in front of 1.5 million people. Yes. Which is out of this world. Like that's what the opportunities. And listen, there is the competition and being on Grant stage, and then there's the real life taking this back into your business. She built a business from scratch, 6 figures. I'm so proud of her. What were the biggest learning lessons for you through this whole process? And talk about the feeling. Like you had a feeling of what Randy went through. You didn't get picked into the top 3. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what, her round of 30 was much more powerful than a round of 12. So in the top 30, several of us judges thought she's probably one of the top speakers, definitely top female. We were blown away by her. And then at the 12, changed some things, maybe a little nerves, and it wasn't quite as powerful. Talk about the learnings you learned through the process that could help serve our audience today.
Yeah. Never forget, your intention will get people's attention because they can feel it. When you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people trying out, when I walked in that room in front of Grant and Pete and Stormy and Elena, all I saw was judges that I felt it was small. It was just 4 people in front of me. When I went out for the 12 and I saw hundreds and hundreds of people, I felt that I had to be better than what I was. That's the honest truth. Do not do what I did, y'all. They didn't pick me because I had $1 million business. They didn't pick me because I had fancy clothes. They didn't pick me because of my bank account because I didn't have too much. They picked me because of my spirit, my authenticity, and my energy. So you can't really teach that. That's why when they saw it, they picked me to give me an opportunity and I almost blew it. But when you have a gift, nothing can stop you. And I love Grant for bringing me back on that stage and giving me a second chance, for giving me an opportunity to really talk about awareness and just to share my story. It boosted my self-esteem. I think the biggest lesson over everything is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So I don't care if you don't have no money, you better ask somebody, you better borrow it, you better get a plane ticket, get there and let God do the rest. That's all I could tell y'all. Get there.
I love it. Hey guys, she gave a little framework right there, EAS, and now watch, you'll start seeing her use it in her talks. But energy, authenticity, and spirit. I always
Yeah.
try to take letters and make something that rings. So EAS, there you go. And then listen, we all need second chances. Like we all need them. Randy got a second chance. Samitra got a second chance. Like second chances are powerful. And I think for a lot of you, this is your second chance to dive into the process. And so, hey, final thoughts for everybody listening today, like about the importance of communication and encouraging them, obviously, to be a part of the SpeakOff.
Yeah, guys, it doesn't matter if you want to be a speaker, if you're a business person, or you just want to be a mother. Effective communication rules the nation. If you can be an effective communicator, you can get any point across. And I think the biggest problem we have in this world is we just don't get each other. We can't come together. We don't understand. But with the effective communicating of exactly what it is that you need to get across, you will be able to get anything that you want in this lifetime. I promise you guys, it is your story, it is your gift. But if you can just use the ability to effectively communicate, you can do anything in this world that you want. And even if it's just telling your husband that you love him, or if it's telling your children to sit down without being passive aggressive, it is about communication. And what was that thing Grant said? If he would have learned this, it would have saved him how many years? Can you repeat that for him? Decades. Grant Cardone said if he would have learned that getting on stages and communicating his story would have got him decades of time saved, he would have saved so much money and so much time. And for anybody, if you just go look at our Instagrams, any of the top 4, you will see we just got to put it out there. The proof is in the pudding. It's up. It's up there. Everybody is doing what they have to do, and they're all shining. And it's because we learned how to be better communicators. That is it.
I love it. I love it. Hey guys, will y'all drop it? Drop some love for Samitra Gonzalez. We all drop some love. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm so proud of you. Keep up the good work. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Hey guys, you can check any of them out on IG or online. You'll see their before and after. They were great before, but they're even greater after, like even greater after. So I just feel so inspired. What'd you take from her? Like, what was it from her that, that you are going to apply? What was that lesson out of what she just had to say? I love it, man. I love it. Hey, the last person I want to bring to you was actually the first ever Great American SpeakOff winner, and also one of the very first. I can count on a few fingers, maybe a hand, but a few fingers most likely how many times I've seen Grant Cardone tear up. And this was one of the times I got to see him tear up. You could see he was deeply moved from our winner of this year's first annual SpeakOff. Would you guys welcome to the stage on Grant's on Twitter Space, on IG, here on Zoom. If you're listening to this on one of our shows, would y'all welcome to the stage our winner and our champion, Mr. Glenn Lundy. Give it up for Mr. Glenn Lundy.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you so much. It's an honor to be here, man. Absolute honor to be here.
Bro, I know that you've been going at it, following Grant for a long time. You could subscribe to his trainings. Dude, what is that? I don't think I've ever asked you, like, what does that make you feel to know that the way you communicated moved him to tears? Now, if that were me, it would be saying one thing, because I cry probably every week, being Grant. And not that I'm not saying he's not sent, like he's got a heart of gold, but you won't see those tears often. Like how does that land for you?
Man, it's he's Uncle G, right? He's Uncle G. And so he's done a lot for me in my life just through his trainings and everything he shares on social media. I've learned so much that I've applied in my business, just following him and being inspired by him through the years. So to have an opportunity to allow him to feel something like that, right? To be able to invoke emotion in him when he's done that for me and my teams for years and years and years, it was truly a just like a divine moment, Pete. For those of us that are faithful people, it was a divine moment when you can connect with someone on a spiritual level like that.
Yeah, I love it, dude. So talk about the process of from the start of the SpeakOff to the end of the SpeakOff, and just the things that you were able to learn and gain through that process, whether it was just up through the process or through the things that we were helping you with. Like, what were the learning moments or the things that you gained through that whole process?
Well, the first thing, Pete, I'll tell you is the process. I saw this thing for this Great American SpeakOff, and I ended up going through the virtuals. I did not go to it in person. I went to a virtuals. And when I signed up for it, I thought, what is Grant and Pete selling? What are they selling? That was my first thought. Like, what are they selling? Right? Because you guys, that's these guys are known for having amazing products. So I said, I'm going to sign up for this, but I don't really know what this is all about. I'll be honest, right? And so I jumped in. It was a Saturday for the virtual, and I went in, and Pete started by sharing his story and his vision of what this Great American SpeakOff was going to be. And so I'm like, okay, I got a little more engaged, right? I'm like, what is this? So I did they called my name. I wasn't even sure if my name would get called to do an audition, because you guys said there's only so many auditions. And so my name got called, and I was actually in this office right here. And I was like, oh, it's on me real quick. Okay. All right. So I'm on, right? And they gave us just 1 minute. I'm like, how do you translate a message in a minute? Like, I'm used to speaking on a stage, you get 45 minutes, which is really maybe 47 if you go a little over, or 44, right? Like, you got a little loose, but you guys said a minute. And so I did the first one. And I honestly, I hadn't taken it that seriously until that point, and somehow made it to the second round of virtual. And when I made it to the second round of virtual, I thought, okay, these guys are really, this is the real deal. This is an incredible opportunity, incredible. So I went downstairs and set up my lighting and got way more prepared for round 2, and was blessed to be able to be chosen to go to Miami. And when I got to Miami, man, it was crazy. Everyone in the room was incredible speakers. Like, the next one would speak, I'm like, wow, 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 wow. And I realized at that point, at that stage, like, bro, there's levels to this game. And a lot of these people are incredibly well trained. And so I got in and was that's when I started asking a lot of questions. Like, okay, all right, how do you really deliver a message in 2 minutes, in 60 seconds? What are the most important aspects, right? And Pete and his crew, one of the first things they taught me is, dude, you've got to get the audience. You got like a second to get the audience right there in the first. Because what I used to do is go into my speeches with, I'm Glenn, or I'm this, me. They're like, no. It's about the audience in the very first second. You've got to captivate them and bring that in. So Pete, I learned that in Miami, going through that process, asking lots of questions from your team. If I wouldn't have been in that room, I couldn't ask those questions. And fast forward, I kept making it round, and being on the stage at 10X, bro, incredible. And Randy goes out there and blows it up. Samitra goes out there and blows it up. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude. And so to have that 3-minute moment, the tears, the emotion, to be with such greatness, I learned so much through the entire process, Pete. It was truly incredible.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. That's so incredible, dude. I'm fired up. Hey guys, one of the things we did at Growthcon for him that we really trained him is he was going to go out there with a whole lot, but he only had a certain amount of time. And so we told him to go deeper on fewer things. And he went deep, bro. And it was powerful, it was profound. As Randy said, he knocked it out of the park. It was out of this world.
Oh, thank you.
What's this done for you, like in business? Like, you even said it's had an impact on you and your family. Like, what did winning this do for you across the board?
Yes. So I've got 8 kids, man. And my kids were sitting in this room, again, this room that I'm in, and they were watching the Great American SpeakOff event 10X on the live stream, right? And so for them to see their dad, which they've known that I've talked about getting on that 10X stage since the first event, they're like, and so they've known that dad has always wanted to be on that stage. And so for them to see me on the stage, for them to be able to hear the message, and for them to be able to see their dad win, bro, it was huge, man. So I come back home, I own my own business in the automotive space. I come back home and my clients see me differently, right? Like it elevated my status with my clients. It elevated my status with my wife, with my kids. I had great status before, like it was awesome, but I didn't realize there's another level. When people see you do the work, when people say you stay committed, when people see you dream big and then follow through and achieve that dream, bro, it breaks you through a plane, right? Because there's a lot of people that talk about it. There's only a handful that are actually about it. Samitra is about it. Randy's about it. Pete and these guys are about it. And so when you can step into that room of the people that are about it, it makes everything in your life easier. The stage, that's why it's a stage, man. It elevates you. It's really an incredible experience.
Dude, what I love it, man. Kind of your final thoughts that you have for everybody listening today, Glenn. Just your final thoughts of how you would encourage them today.
Yeah, my final thoughts for everybody in the room would be just remember what Randy's talking about and Samitra talking about putting in the work, showing up, letting God, and being authentic are incredibly important, and the intention behind it. And the only thing I'll roll on top is, in the midst of all of that, remember that it's not about you. It's never been about you. It's about those that are hearing the message and the one that gave you the message. And if you can remember that in all of your talks, you can make a massive impact by being yourself and bringing that to the table.
Dude, that's so good. I got goosebumps. Hey guys, will y'all give it up for Glenn Lundy, our first champion ever, man. I'm going to make sure that some of these folks get to judge next year. One of the cool things is the people who make it to Growthcon, we had over 100 meeting planners that controlled thousands of stages across the world that were doing the judging and that were getting to find speakers for their event. So it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to make sure some of them get to judge. But what Glenn said is so important. Your story and your life experience, when you walk through it in life, that's the time it was for you, is when you actually walked through it. But now God has given it to you as an overcomer, and now it's for other people. And obviously, I feel to bring glory to him. But now it's for other people. Exactly what Glenn said, so profound, so powerful. And the more, just like Randy and Samitra said, the more that you can dial into using your story and becoming a powerful communicator, it can change the game for you in your home, in your business, and in your life across the board. And so this has today been fantastic, guys. I know y'all got to hear from 3 out of the 4 last year. Unbelievable. What are you going to do out of today's show? Like, what are you going to do with it? I hope all of you are just going to make a decision to come to Miami, come to Vegas, come to Chicago. It's all day. We start at 8 a.m. We go from 8 a.m. to, it's like till 6 p.m. You're not just in a competition, you're getting training. And here's what I want to do. Hey, team, I want to, we have a VIP upgrade. And let me tell you what, the VIP upgrade, Glenn was right. He was like, dude, these guys aren't focused on selling something. This is about a competition to develop talent and raise talent up. We do have a VIP upgrade. I think it's $100 or $200. You can come for free, but the VIP upgrade gets you some pre-training. It helps you get ready. I'm going to make sure and include the 4 finalist talks team, our 4 finalist talks from last year. We're going to make sure that you get to see their 4 talks so you can actually see with the end in mind. So when you register, it's a free registration. The VIP upgrade allows us to be able to spend paid media to make sure that the world knows about this. I'd encourage you to upgrade to the VIP because the perks that come along with that are amazing. Come in the night before, leave on a late flight that next night, or stay an extra night and enjoy it. But get out there to the Great American Speak Off. If you're listening to the show at a time where we're not in the middle of the Great American Speak Off, there's always a wait list to sign up. So if you just go to SpeakOff.com, if we have a live city coming up, you'll see it. If we don't, you'll see the wait list. And so, guys, thank y'all for today's show. So grateful for our guests. God bless you guys, and we will see you next week. We got a very special guest that I'm working on for next week. We'll see you next week.